Hi everybody, this is Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic in this arm and Brain Sense Telehealth this arm. But I am here on this video to give you part 2 of what is in the orientation packet and how to break it all down because, well, I go a little bit crazy. Here is my folder with the master copy of the orientation packet so you can kind of see how many pages are in there. And after your first visit, when I talk a lot, and I don't disagree, yes, I talk a lot. I am so excited about chiropractic and telling the story, telling my story, listening to your story, and learning how we can put it all into place so you can be a proactive, important part of your community, so you have the right brain function, so you can be that doer and get things accomplished. So I do give everybody an orientation packet after their first visit. At their first visit, it may look like it's overwhelming information. It's very repetitive, but I focus on health from a different point of view because everybody has their own reason for coming here. And if I can connect all the dots for you, you can enjoy the experience a little bit more. So I am at this page of the packet. Got a little sticky note to reminding myself this is where we stopped at part 1, at the end of part 1, and in the show notes you can find that link if you didn't watch that one yet. So this is in the middle of the orientation packet. This is a picture of a spine. You've got your brain and your spinal column, but what's here on top? This is an anvil. If you don't remember the Road Runner Coyote cartoons, this is it. So maybe I'm going to help you figure out my age because I loved those Roadrunner cartoons and thought this makes a very nice way of illustrating how stress can affect you. So in the title it says busy, stressful life, neglect on the brain-spine system. Well, this is how it goes. Stress over time does actually impact your spine, impacts your whole health, and these are some of the examples. So if you have loss of healthy curves in your spine, you can see we are all kind of curvy. If you have lost those curves, there's going to be demyelination. Demyelination. You've got that myelin cover over your spinal cord and your brain, so it's going to affect your brain health. Demyelination, everybody thinks MS. And then you can have brain fog if your curves are just right. If you've got this much tension and force affecting your spine, you will have health changes. It's also going to put a strain on your organs. You'll have unbalanced hormonal output. It's going to affect your insulin, your thyroid hormone, your adrenals, your neurotransmitters, your sex hormones, leptin, and you can have pancreatic insufficiency. So we can nip that in the bud. We don't want this kind of pressure on the body affecting your nerves. You also can have faulty digestion, which leads to leaky gut, irritable bowel, fibromyalgia. There's an autoimmune response, and cancer. When you don't have your internal organs in sync with each other, in balance with each other, because of pressure on your spine. What else? Your cortisol gets burned out. You can have more inflammation. Your skeletal joints are going to feel it. It's going to give you a fatty liver. Your liver cannot be as efficient as you want it to be. It affects arteries. It's going to affect your heart. It's going to affect diabetes. It can have play in a role, contribution to depression, behavioral problems, weight gain, Alzheimer's. So this throws out a list of negative things we don't want to have happen to our bodies. I'm not saying that you're going to get these diseases. I am not holding a crystal ball. I'm not predicting anything, but we know how stress impacts the body. We want to nip it in the bud. There's a lot of other contributing factors. This isn't the only thing, but when you've got more than one thing happening, if you have more than one stressor, you're going to say, I feel it. I feel run down. I really feel like there's an anvil on top of my head and I just am not at my best function. So that's that page. The next page, better brains make better choices. So how can we break the cycle of an ineffective brain? We need your full participation in the world. You cannot do that with an impaired brain. So I ask people in this page, if you're feeling stuck, you can blame your brain. Stress and inflammation actually drive blood flow away from your brain's prefrontal cortex. When your fight or flight is activated, you get less blood to the prefrontal cortex because now it's automatic time. It's not time to think things through, weigh the pros and cons. Your brain says it's an emergency, we need to go into action, and it's going to be an automatic, primal, primitive response. Hopefully it's short-lived, but in our modern world, our stresses are actually long-standing, and that's going to keep the blood flow away from the prefrontal cortex of our brain. So you can't think properly. You can't make better decisions. You can't help it. But now you can, and now you should. The brain is ineffective if you're inflaming your body with stress. So I'm coming to it now from a different viewpoint compared to the other pages in the orientation packet. This might be relevant to you. This might resonate with you. So here it is. How do we break the cycle? It does start with a decision, a healthy decision. But making that decision, it's wonderful, yet it's kind of scary. People are hesitant. They just don't know what is the next step. How do you fit it in to your lifestyle? How do you meet all the demands put on you from everybody around you, your job, your family? How do you fit it in? And that's the tricky part, but you don't have to figure it all out in one day, and you don't have to figure it all out alone. That's the nice thing of having a relationship with a wellness coach, a chiropractor, or a BrainSense telehealth coach who can take that journey with you. How do we break the cycle? Again, we have to break away from incorrect health information. And there are a lot of myths out there that have been believed to be true for a long time. And that takes a while to unpack. So there are a lot of incorrect ideas about health, and there's a zillion of them when it comes to diet and what type of foods to eat, what's going on with that food pyramid and things like that. That's the easy one I can throw out there, diet. So many misconceptions, so we've got to get that ironed out and get that under control. And we have to break the cycle also. We have to break away from unproductive habits and make room for new habits. So we're just going to substitute. Get rid of the ones that don't serve you and add in the ones that you will benefit from. Brain First Always will guide you. And what's Brain First Always? BFA. It's the protocol I teach people. How to move their brain, feed their brains, and talk to their brains. 3 steps. There's some mini steps within. There's steps within the steps, but that's the easiest way to break it down. Move the brain, feed the brain, talk to the brain. So Brain First Always is the consistent fuel you need to reach all your meaningful goals, from fulfilling your basic needs for health and safety and also independence. And then we shift up to those higher goals of nurturing relationships and living with a purposeful mission, purposeful vocation. These are all the hierarchy of needs, and we can address those. And we can address them with the Brain First Always protocol. So that's the end of this page. Next page, chiropractic cliff notes. The I's have it. So there's 5 words that start with the letter I that I think are very interesting and can put you in a healthy direction. What are these words? Innate, interference, inflammation, insulin, and immune. So 1. Your innate intelligence works through the nervous system to coordinate your healing 24 hours a day. Number 2, your chiropractor accesses innate through the spine, unlocking the profound functions of the brain. So that's my access point. When I'm adjusting your spine, we're moving those bones in order to unlock that flow of information and improve it. Your brain needs to have the right communication with your body, and that's what we do. We open up the floodgates so that energy gets to move back and forth properly. Now here's the challenge. Your innate needs a receptive body. We're going to rechannel those energies. We're going to boost those energies, but you need to have a receptive body. You cannot receive these important signals if you don't have the right tissue resilience, if you don't have healthy tissues. You can't have inflammation flooding your cells, because the inflammation is going to disrupt that flow of information. You need healthy tissues. You need tissues that rebuild themselves in order to function properly. Otherwise, the message is going to get delivered, but it's not going to be received. And that is very important for me to communicate that, because just because we adjust somebody doesn't mean they get the results they want. And this is the sticking point where people get a little bit impatient. But you have to have a receptive body. If it's shut down, you're not going to have the healing benefits. So we've got to address healing all the way around. So the mechanical, chemical, and emotional stresses are the interferences that block the reception of innate healing communication. All interference turns into inflammation in the body. Inflamed tissues have a difficult time receiving and using innate nerve energy opened up by the adjustment. Damaged, dead tissue cannot receive and use innate nerve energy at all. So I mention in the orientation or at one of your chiropractic visits, innate intelligence is there. But if you have dead, damaged tissue, then you're not going to have nothing's happening, actually. If you have a corpse laying on the ground and everything is there, there's a nervous system, there's a brain, there's a respiratory system, digestive system, skeletal system, everything is there in that corpse. Just imagine it. What's missing? The innate connection. Compared to a living person that has everything, that's the difference between a dead person and a living person. Not to be grotesque, not to be morbid, but if you have damaged or dead tissue, that communication ends. Lucky for us, we have multiple nerves and we have lots of them. Lucky for us, we have lots of arteries and capillaries. So God gave us this backup plan. We have more than one organ. We have 2 kidneys, we have 2 lungs. So luckily for us, it's not the end instantly when you have an injury. Thankful. But we've got to protect what we have. We have to appreciate what we have. So next on my list, we never give up on the body's innate ability to heal. If there's nerve energy flowing, the body continues to adapt as best as it can. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I tell people, if you have a pulse and you're breathing, you've got healing ability. Now let's give it TLC. Let's boost it up. Let's thank our bodies for all the hard work it does 24 hours a day. Let's give back. Pay it forward. Next, insulin is a major driver of the inflammation response because insulin turns on a body-wide immune system action. Sorry. Let me reread this. Insulin is a major driver of the inflammation response because insulin turns on a body-wide immune system reaction when blood sugar is high. When blood sugar is high, there is that communication from the pancreas to the rest of the body, and it is body-wide. And where can you learn more about that? In this book, The Deflamed Diet by Dr. David Seaman. He talks about the different ways inflammation impacts your body. One is when your cells make energy, there's waste products, free radicals, and if you don't have enough nutrients to neutralize those free radicals, there's an inflaming response on the body. Another one is through diet. And if the pancreas says, boy, we got to make a lot of insulin right now, it's got to warn the rest of the body. And that will cause an increase in white blood cells. That causes you to feel sickish, like you have the flu, when your inflammation levels are high. Next on the list, eventually an overwhelmed immune system becomes separated from innate. It's going to give out. It's going to set the stage for autoimmune disease such as cancer, Alzheimer's, diabetes, arthritis, fibromyalgia. And in parentheses it says here, revisit number 6. Let's go and revisit number 6. We never give up on the body's innate ability to heal. If there's nerve energy flowing, the body continues to adapt as best as it can. Okay, let's go to the next part of this orientation page. So the 3 parts of the BFA protocol, moving the brain, feeding the brain, and talking to the brain, will promote the chiropractic mindset of keeping constant focus on nurturing the innate ability to heal. These are the action steps we put into place. Innate intelligence is always working. How do we give back? These 3 steps. Move the brain, feed the brain, talk to the brain. So the final reminder at the bottom of this page, healing requires time and repetition. Keep constant focus on nurturing habits. And those nurturing habits come from moving the brain, feeding the brain, and talk to the brain. I am so glad you stuck it out this long in the video. I've gone 17 minutes, so we're going to take a break and look for part 3. But I do need you to be a full participant in the world. We need your time, we need your talents, and you need the best brain possible. And we do that with chiropractic care and BrainSense telehealth. Check out the rest of the blog at createpurpose.com. Watch that orientation video if you've never watched it. So these videos will kind of make sense and fall into place for you. I'm glad you're here. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Give this video to somebody who you know needs to hear this uplifting message. And I'll see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.